Alright, shalom, shalom, Yasha Allah. Back at you with another Lord will edifying lesson under Brother to come. But before I go any further, I'd like to give all honor, all glory, and all praises to the Heavenly Father, to His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Kakwadash. Next up, double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone who do well. Double shalom to all you say Akim. Shalom. And I'm just going to get into a Lord will edifying lesson pretty much on. We were supposed to be ruling. You Israelites. We were supposed to be on top. We were supposed to be ruling the earth, the galaxy. You see? You got a lot of our people who always say, what do we do to deserve this? Why are we going through the things that we're going through? We're going through the things that we're going through because what? We turned our back on our power. Yahweh Shemal Shah. You see? We stopped upholding and keeping the ways of Yahweh Shemal Shah. So what? The Lord brought us low, put the heathens over us, put us in captivity, slavery. When really, we're a great nation and we're really supposed to be ruling, but we went off. You know? So without further ado, I'm just going to dive right into it. This is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments and commandments, even as Yahweh my power commanded me. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Shah commanded Moses, to teach you Israelites statutes and judgments, commandments of the Bible. It says that ye should do so in the land whether you go to possess it. So whatever land that you Israelites went to, whatever land you Israelites are in, still to this day, you're supposed to be doing what? Upholding and keeping the statutes and judgments, that Moses has taught us through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shemal Shah. Verse 6. Keep therefore and do them. Keep therefore and do what? The commandments. The things that are written in this Bible. The things that are written therein. For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. That's right. So all these other nations that are outside of you Israelites, this is our wisdom and our understanding in the sight of these other nations. You see? It says, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. That's right. And what makes you Israelites a wise and understanding people? What sets you apart from these other nations? The laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. You see, that's what makes you different. You see? And the heathens, they're supposed to be looking at us as a nation of people, and they're supposed to be saying, this is a wise and understanding people. You see? Why? Because we're not doing the things that they do. Why? Because we have righteous ways. And our righteous ways is what's going to make us a wise and understanding people. The heathens, they supposed to look at us and say, they don't eat shrimp, pork, crab, lobster. Why not? Because it's not good for your body. You see, it makes you sick. They're supposed to look at them like, they don't have two men together, two women together committing sodomy. No, why? Because you get diseases like that, and ultimately that wasn't a way of life. Yahweh Shemal Shah didn't make life to be like that, for two men to be together and two women to be together. Oh, they're not defiling a temple with cigarettes, black and miles, and weed and all that stuff. Why not? Because that destroys your body. You get cancer and many other things. You see? So when we uphold the ways of Yahweh Shemal Shah, the heathen, they look at us as a wise and understanding people. But best believe right about now, because we're not on top when we're supposed to be, best believe right about now, these heathen, they looking at us like we're through, like we're finished. Why? Because we fell away from our power. We turned our back on Yahweh Shemal Shah and started sinning and transgressing against Yahweh Shemal Shah. And now the heathens are ruling over us. You see? When really we're supposed to be over heathens, and they supposed to be looking at us like we're a wise and understanding people because of the ways of Yahweh Shema Shah that He had bestowed upon us. You see? Verse 7. For what nation is there so great, who have Yahweh by Shema Shah so nigh unto them? As Yahweh our power is in all things that we call upon Him for. That's right. And that nation that's so great to have Yahweh by Shema Shah so nigh unto them is you Israelites. That's your power. You see? Joel 2:7. I am your power and I am in the midst of you. Just paraphrasing it. Verse 8. And what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day? And again, that's you Israelites. You see? So again, the point is, we're supposed to be on top. And these other nations, they supposed to be coming to us and looking at us as a wise, understanding people. Because of the laws, because of the commandments that Yahweh Shema Shah gave unto us. But they're not looking at us as a wise, understanding people right now. Because we're at the bottom. We're at the lowest of the lows. You know? This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power. That's right. Now, where holy means separate. So you Israelites, you're supposed to be separate unto Yahweh Shema Shah from the rest of these other nations. And again, what makes you separate unto Yahweh Shema Shah from these other nations? The laws, statutes, commandments of the Bible that was given unto you Israelites. It says, Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto Himself. That's right. So not only are we supposed to be holy unto Yahweh Shema Shah, but they also chosen you Israelites to be a special people unto themselves. You look at that word special, it goes into better, greater, outstanding. You see? You Israelites, look at yourselves when it comes to the other nations. You are definitely better than the other nations. You are definitely greater than these other nations. You see, when it comes to sports, when it comes to dancing, when it comes to cooking, when it comes to look, dressing, you see, when it comes to coming up with inventions, because Jake pretty much, you Israelites, y'all came with all the inventions. These devils just stole your inventions from you. But the point I'm getting at is, we're better than all the heathen nations at everything. And it's because Yahweh Shema Shah chose us to be that special people unto Himself. It says, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. That's right. So the Lord didn't choose us to be that special people unto Himself, to be under or to be equal to the other nations. But the Lord chose us to be that special people unto Himself, to be above these other people, to be above these other nations that are upon the face of the earth. And that's why us being that chosen people unto Yahweh Shema Shah, here it is. We're at the lowest of lows. These heathens ruling over us, but guess what? We still do everything better than them. You see? We still do everything greater than them. And our slavery, and our captivity. And why do we do everything better than them? Why are we greater than them? Because first and foremost, Yahweh Shema Shah put their spirit on us to make us better than them, to make us greater than them. But not only that, but because we're really supposed to be ruling over them. This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 2. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power. And again, holy means separate. Yahweh thy power, I'm going to read that again. This is Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 2. For thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy power. And the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah have chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto Himself. That's right. And we look at that word peculiar, it goes into what? Strange, odd, different. And again, when you Israelites look at yourself, you are definitely strange and odd to the other nations. Why? Because we do things that they can never do. You see? We do things that they can never do. gliding from the free throw line when it comes to basketball. 360, alley hoops, windmills, breakdancing, flips. You see? All different type of things we do that's strange to the heathen nations. Why? Because Yahweh Shemashah has made us that peculiar people unto themselves. We didn't make ourselves like that. Yahweh Shemashah made us like this. He put a spirit in us to pretty much be many gods upon the face of the earth. It says, Yahweh Shemashah have chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all nations that are upon the face of the earth. You see? So you Israelites, you're above these other nations. You see? Again, you're in hell. You're in your captivity, still doing everything better than these heathen nations. Why? Because you're above these heathen nations. You see? You're supposed to be ruling over these heathen nations. Yeah, one more preaching, I'm going to close up. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, Yahweh Shemashah, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord Yahweh Shemashah will set thee on high above all the other nations, all the nations of the earth. That's right. So this is what Moses was telling you Israelites, that if you will hearken and you would have took heed to the words of Yahweh Shemashah, that what? You would have been set on high above all the other nations upon the face of the earth. Pretty much, you would be ruling. You see? And from 2 all the way down to 14 goes into the blessings. But guess what? You Israelites, you didn't hearken. And that's exactly why we're in the predicament that we're in. That's why we're catching hell. That's why we're going through slavery. You see? Because we didn't hearken. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, Yahweh Shemashah, to observe, to do all his commandments and his commandments and statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And that's exactly what happened. This is exactly why we're not ruling. This is why we're not ruling over the heathen nations. This is why we're not ruling the galaxy, the earth right about now. Because we didn't hearken unto Yahweh Shemashah. You see, we disobeyed their word. We disobeyed them. And so now what happened? All these curses from Deuteronomy 16 all the way down to 68 came upon you Israelites. You see? All these curses came upon us because we didn't take heed to Yahweh Shemashah. But had we took heed and hearken unto Yahweh Shemashah, we would be ruling over the other nations. We will be the best at everything, which we already the best at everything. But we'll be the best at everything on top. You see? And these other nations will be looking at us as a wise and understanding people right about now. Because they're definitely not. So we're supposed to be ruling. So that's pretty much my lesson. Lord willing, the very hopeful that there was edified. Till next time, I say pretty much shalom.